They called him untamable. He threw every rider, broke every rope. But when she walked into the pen, he didn't run. He bowed his head, as if he already knew her. They said he was born from thunder. In a quiet town surrounded by endless fields, people whispered about a wild stallion that no one could catch. He ran faster than the wind, his black coat shining like night after rain, his eyes burning with something between anger and freedom. Farmers tried to trap him. Riders tried to break him. Even the best horsemen from neighboring towns came, all left with broken ropes and bruised pride. They called him the Wild One. He tore through fences, vanished into the mist, and returned only when he chose. Some said he was a spirit sent by the mountains. Others swore he was just a horse, but no ordinary one. When he ran, thunder followed. When he neighed, even the dogs went silent. No one owned him. No one ever would, and yet, every person who saw him felt something fear, awe, and a strange pull in their chest. Like he carried the untamed heart of the land itself, the Wild One wasn't just a legend. He was a reminder that some things in this world are meant to stay free. Elara used to love horses. She grew up watching her father train them, her laughter echoing through the stables. But one fall changed everything. The horse had spooked. The ground came fast, and when she woke up, fear had taken the place of love. Now, years later, her father's hands tremble with age, his training days long behind him. The barn stands quiet, just the sound of wind through empty stalls. But when Elara hears the townsfolk whisper about the wild stallion, something inside her stirs. She tells herself it's just curiosity. Yet her heart beats faster every time she hears his name. She dreams of him black as midnight, untamed and free, and in those dreams, she's not afraid still when she wakes. Her hands shake at the thought of touching a horse again. Fear holds her like a shadow, but deep down, beneath all that trembling, something else is growing, a quiet longing to ride again. The day she saw him, the world seemed to stop. The stallion stood in the corral, muscles tense, eyes burning with defiance. Dust swirled around his hooves as he snorted, the sound sharp and wild in the wind. People shouted, "Stay back. He's dangerous." But Elara couldn't move, not away, not closer. She just stared, and for a heartbeat, he stared back. The noise around them faded. The air grew still. And in that silence, something passed between them, something neither fear nor words could explain. It felt like recognition, like two broken spirits had finally found each other. Word spread fast. The ranch owner had offered a reward to anyone who could tame the wild stallion. Riders from nearby towns came with ropes, whips, and pride. One by one, they failed. The horse threw them off, snapped ropes, and vanished behind clouds of dust. Elara watched from the fence, her heart beating with something she didn't understand. Everyone laughed when she whispered, "Maybe I could try." Her father's face hardened. "No," he said quietly. "You've already been broken once. I won't let it happen again." But that night, as the wind carried the stallion's cry across the fields, Elara couldn't shake the feeling that he was calling her name. That night, when the town slept, Elara slipped through the fields toward the corral. The moonlight painted silver across the stallion's back as he paced, snorting, wild and restless. She didn't bring a rope or a whip, only her voice. It trembled at first, barely more than a breath, then softer, steadier. "I'm not here to hurt you," she whispered. The stallion stopped. His ears twitched. For a moment, the world stood still. Without knowing why, she whispered a name, one she had never heard before. Yet it felt like it had always belonged to him. The wild horse lifted his head, met her eyes, and for the first time, he didn't run. Day after day, Elara returned to the corral, no ropes, no commands, just silence and patience. She brought water, a handful of grain, and a calm presence he seemed to understand. The stallion watched her from a distance at first, ears flicking, muscles tight. But slowly, his eyes softened. He began to wait for her. She noticed the scars along his flank, marks of ropes, of fear, of men who tried to break what was never meant to be broken. And in him, she saw her own scars too. Neither spoke the language of trust easily, but somehow they understood each other. Two broken souls, one human, one wild, learning quietly how to heal. Word spread quickly through the town. The girl who can't even ride thinks she can tame the wild one. Laughter followed her everywhere she went. Her father pleaded, fear in his eyes. Elara, you'll get hurt again. Let it go. But she only shook her head. I'm not trying to tame him, she said softly. I just want him to trust. So she kept returning to the corral, ignoring the whispers and the stares. While others saw danger, she saw a soul that had been hurt just like hers. She didn't want control. She wanted connection. And that made all the difference. The storm came without warning, wind howling, fences breaking, thunder shaking the ground. In the chaos, the stallion broke free. People shouted, he's loose. He'll kill someone. But Elara didn't hesitate. She ran into the rain, heart pounding, calling his name through the storm. She found him tangled in wire, eyes wide with fear, muscles trembling. Slowly, she stepped closer. No rope, no fear, just her voice. It's okay, she whispered through the rain. You're free now. The stallion stopped struggling, his breath slowing. And when she stepped back, he followed quietly, willingly, all the way home. At sunrise, the town gathered in silence, eyes fixed on the corral. Elara stepped in, no saddle, no rope, only quiet confidence. The stallion lifted his head, muscles rippling, then slowly lowered himself, allowing her to climb onto his back. A hush fell over the crowd. Then, with a powerful leap, they moved together, horse and rider as one. Wild and free, graceful as wine meeting sky. For a moment, nothing else existed. Two spirits, untamed and healed, riding in perfect harmony. The stallion never belonged to anyone, not even Elara, yet he stayed by her side. Loyal, free, untamed. She became a quiet legend in the town. Not for conquering him, but for understanding him. For listening when others could not. Some souls can't be broken. They can only be heard if you whisper their name. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, she rode beside him, their silhouettes fading into gold. Wild and free together,